What's up, you guys? Thank you for tuning into Music with Mr. Nick. My name is Mr. Nick, and today is day 1 of your 28-day Learn Guitar Challenge. And at the end of 28 days, I guarantee you will be able to play some basic guitar riffs and know what you're doing on guitar. Now, will you know everything there is to know about guitar and be an expert right away? Absolutely not. I've been playing for 19 years and I still learn things all the time. But this 28-day challenge will get you going and give you the tools to build upon so that you can become an expert guitar player. Let's get started. Alright, so let's go over how this is going to work, because 28 days does not seem like a long time to learn any instrument, right? So how this works is I'm going to give you a lesson. You're going to tune in here, you're going to watch the lesson, then you're going to practice for 5 days. I have a schedule for you to practice specific things during those 5 days, okay? And then at the end of those 5 days, there's going to be a 2-day break, and I want you to give yourself a break from learning guitar, because when you come back to it, your mind's going to recall the information and it's going to come back even stronger. So trust me, those 2 days break is part of the learning process, okay? So at the end of that though, we're going to repeat that 4 times. 4 lessons, 4 weeks of practice. I have it all laid out for you. Download it in the description below. It's just a chart of what to practice specifically every single day. Don't go ahead, but just stay day to day and practice between 10 and 15 minutes, okay? Very important. Nothing more, nothing less. That's exactly what you need. You can do more if you want, but I'm saying it's quick. It's a 10 to 15 minute little burst practice all throughout the week, and that, from what I've learned, is the best way to retain knowledge and learn guitar. So, and after doing that for 4 weeks, 28 days, you guys, you will have the basics that you need to know and the ability to play some cool things on the guitar, okay? So with that said, let's jump in with that first lesson. Alright, so welcome to your first lesson, the first of 4 lessons in your 28-day Learn Guitar Challenge. Today I'm going to be showing you a couple exercises and a couple of chords as well, but I'm also going to assume a couple things. I'm going to assume that you've tuned your guitar already, so if you haven't tuned your guitar, just go ahead and pause the video, and I have another video explaining how to tune your guitar. So go ahead and tune your guitar up, come back and continue from here, okay? So here's our guitar right here. I'm gonna assume that you don't know anything other than this is a guitar, okay? So let's go over the parts real quick. So up here we have a head, we have tuning keys. Now these tuning keys are connected to 6 strings, okay? 6 strings across the fretboard here on the top, that's what it's called, it's fretboard, and these metal things are called frets, okay? So we'll come back to that in a second. On the back of that you have the neck, you have the whole body right here, you have the sound hole, because it's a hole and sound comes out of it. Makes sense, right? And then you have your bridge down here, bridge pins or end pins, whatever you want to call them. But let's circle back to one of the most important terms here, and that's fret, okay? F-R-E-T, frets. Now, frets tell us where to put our fingers on the guitar. And when we press down on a string, inside of a fret, or at a fret, this is what I mean. So let's say I would say to take your pointer finger, bottom string, 3rd fret. So we'll count. So go to the bottom string, pointer finger, you got 1, 2, here's your 3rd fret right here. I'm not gonna put my finger on it because that hurts and it actually gives you this sound. Not good. I'm gonna put it right before that fret, okay? So I'm gonna press down nice and hard and it'll be nice and clear. Now you wanna be as close to that fret as possible, because check it out. This is what happens if you go the other way. You get that sound again. And of course we want the clearest sound possible, okay? Right up there. So let's jump into the first exercise that I have for you today. Alright, this first exercise is called spider fingers. And now spider fingers is a great exercising tool right when you first start guitar, okay? Because it does a few things. It gets your left hand talking to your right hand and having them practice coordinating together. It helps your right hand figure out what strings are where, and then it helps your brain kind of put all this together as well, okay? And on top of all that, it's going to start to get your fingertips stronger, because when you first start to play guitar, it might hurt a little bit pressing down on the strings, but trust me, after a week or 2, you build up calluses on your fingertips and that pain goes away, okay? So let's jump right in here. I'm going to show you how spider fingers work. So what we want to start with is making sure that we're holding our pick the correct way, alright? So holding the pick the correct way, give me a thumbs up there. Take your pick and put it right across like that, and then take your pointer finger and just squish it down. Now everyone will have a little bit of a different way of doing this, but this is generally what works the best for me. Now you take this pick and then you point it directly into you, straight in, into the sound hole right there, okay? So what I don't want, and what I see a lot of times, is this, and then you go like that, or like this. It just doesn't give you the correct amount of control that you're gonna want down the road, so please practice it like this. Thumbs up, pick right here so it's pointing out from you, kind of at a right angle. Put that pointer finger behind it, and you can adjust a little bit from there, depending on how your hand and your fingers are. But there you go. So pick facing directly in towards us. We're gonna start on the very top string closest to us. And word of disclaimer here, you guys. Everything, almost everywhere you read, they're gonna call your top string, like online, they call the top string the bottom string right here. So they say like your high E or your top string is down here, all the way to your low string, which is up top. To me, I get it, but that's backwards. So if I say top string and I point to the top string, that's literally what I mean, okay? So you'll see more about that down the road. But for now, all we're gonna do, start on the top string, like the one closest to you, take your pointer finger, reach under your guitar neck, and you're gonna press down on that top string, first fret, and then you're gonna give it one pluck, just like this. And then once you get a clear sound there, you're going to move up to your second finger, your middle, on the second fret. Do the same thing. Your ring finger is going to be on the third fret, and your pinky is going to be on the fourth fret. And once you've figured that out and got that down nice and clear, move down to the next string and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to move down through your strings the whole way through till you reach the bottom. So check it out. Alright, so here we're not going for speed just yet, we're going for the clarity of the notes and practicing getting our fingers in the right spot in the right string, okay? So that's the practice here. Now once you get to the bottom, we're gonna go back the other way. So check it out. So you have your pinky right here, we're gonna start with the pinky, do the same thing, just going backwards. So we go pinky in the bottom string, ring finger, middle, pointer. Now you're gonna move up a string, so we're on that B string now with our pinky, and then we're gonna start there, and we're gonna go back. And we're gonna continue that all the way up. Alright, so again, clear notes is what we're going for here. Once you start getting those clear notes down, then you can go for speed, but I want clear notes first before speed, because no one wants to hear this. Just doesn't sound great, okay? So, there is your first exercise, spider fingers, great practice tool. Let's move on. Alright, so I have 2 chords for you to learn today, okay? Now, chords are when you press down on multiple strings usually, and strum multiple strings at the same time to get a sound. Now our exercise before, spider fingers, we were doing one string, one note at a time, but now we're doing multiple, okay? So here's our first chord that we're gonna learn today. It is E minor, so that's what it's called. E minor is the type of chord. And we're gonna take our middle, and we're gonna put it on the second string down in the second fret. And we're gonna take our ring finger, and we're gonna put it on the string right below that, also in the second fret. So we're gonna press down nice and hard, and we're gonna make sure we only hit those 2 strings. Okay, so take your pick, start at the top, go all the way down. Here's how it sounds. Alright, so if you have anything that might sound like this, something is wrong, right? So double check your fingers, make sure you're pressing down hard enough. But then also, what's very common when you start is your fingers accidentally touch other strings. So even though you're touching the right string, if they're touching other strings on accident, you'll create that muffled sound and it won't be as clear as we want it. So just kind of work the angle and find out where is best suited for your hand and your fingers, because everybody's hands and fingers are different, and then find to where it's just, you're pressing down on just what you want, and then give it a clear strum. There you go. And then once you get that, go for multiple strums. Do it like in sets of 4 maybe. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? There we go. Alright, so that is your first chord. Done already. Good job. Alright, now for your second chord. Your second chord is D. It's called D major. And when I say chords down the road, unless it's a minor, I'll just say the name of the chord. So like for D, I'm not going to say D major every time. I'll just say play D. And then if it is a minor, I'll say the minor, like play E minor, okay? So here is D. So we're gonna take our middle, we're gonna place it on the bottom string on the 2nd fret, right there. You're gonna take your ring finger, you're gonna put it on the B string, 3rd fret, and you're gonna take your pointer finger, and you're gonna put it on the string above that, it's the G string, in the 2nd fret. Now you're gonna press nice and hard, and you're gonna strum, you're gonna aim for the bottom 4 strings here, just like so. And that's what it should sound like. So now if you're strumming and you accidentally hit the 5th string, it's not the end of the world at all. If you're strumming and you accidentally hit the top string, again, not the end of the world, but we want to aim for the bottom 4, maybe 5 strings. That'll give us the clearest sound, okay? So that is D, D major. All right, so now you know 2 chords. Good job. The D might take a little practice, and that's totally okay. You have a week to practice it. I'll let you know what days to practice that specifically. However, I'm going to show you something you can do now going between the 2 chords that you're also going to practice this week, okay? So let's go back to E minor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 strums on E minor, and then I'm going to switch over to D, and I'm going to do 4 strums. And my goal is going to be to not have a big old pause in the middle of the 2 chords, okay? So here's what I mean. Starting with E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, switching to D, 2, 3, 4. And once you get comfortable with that, just go back and forth. E minor, D, back to E minor, back to D. Notice I wasn't going super fast, because if I go super fast, that shortens my length of time in between E minor and D that I give myself to get to that next chord. So for example, if I was trying to do this fast, that switch needed to be so quick because I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, stop, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. Because the music, it doesn't really do that, right? It's a continuous stream of music. So that's what we want to shoot for. 4 strums on E minor, 4 strums on D. Now I'm going to give you one more thing here. I'm going to throw you a strumming pattern. Now again, this might seem a lot right now, but you have the whole week to practice this, little by little, okay? So if you need to refer back to this video, totally fine. That's how this was meant to be used. So here we go. Strumming pattern between E minor and D. Now a strumming pattern is just a specific direction of downs and ups on our strumming hand, okay? So the chords are the exact same here with our left hand. It's just our right hand that's doing something different now. And all we're gonna do is throw in 1 upstroke to what we were doing. Now an upstroke is kind of like a pop. It's just like a little accent that you hit on your way up when you strum. So let me show you with E minor. So I'm gonna go 4 down, and I'm gonna go 1 up. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, up. Did you catch that? Did you hear that little pop? Let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, up. Okay, so the purpose of that is to switch up and kind of mix up your strumming pattern. It creates a little bit of interest, and it makes it so it's not just so one-dimensional all the time when you're playing, okay? So it's just a pop on the bottom 1 or 2 strings. It's not the whole thing. It's not that, because that's a lot of strumming and it might sound weird in the middle of a song. I mean, you might like it, you know, if you do, go for it. But it's 4 down and 1 quick strum up. Now here's how it works. You're gonna do that on E minor, and then by the time you come back down for your next strum, you're gonna be on D. So check it out. So 1, 2, 3, down, up, D, 2, 3, down, up, E minor. So you're gonna wanna work on getting that transition smooth as well after you get the 4 strum transition from E minor to D, okay? So with that said, that is it, you guys. Those are the things I want you to practice this week. And again, download the practice sheet. It's gonna give you something specific every single day. It might not be all of them. It might be one thing, it might be the other, but it'll give you the exact practice schedule. Stick to that 10 to 15 minutes a day, and then give yourself 2 days rest. okay? And at the end of those 2 days, then you watch the next video and then you continue it, so on and so forth, okay? Your fingers might hurt a little bit, but again, I promise you, after a week or two, that goes away for as long as you play, okay? So, hang in there, have a good week of practice, and I'll see you in a week.